Alright, hello 8th grade. So today we're looking at descriptive statistics, which is basically just a way of saying that we're going to be describing things using some different terms. And quite a few of these are going to be terms you've already seen. Like I'm pretty sure you remember what mean, median, mode, and range are, or if you don't remember what they are, you at least remember that they're things. So if you don't remember what those things are, your mean is what we usually are talking about when we say average. So your mean is you add them all up, say animal, and then divide by your number of things. So your mean is you add them all up and divide by however many things you have. Your median is the one that's in the middle once they're in order, either from biggest to smallest or smallest to biggest. So it's in the middle once they're in order. When they're in order. Your mode is the number that happens the most often. So your mode is the number that's happening the most, and if there's no number that repeats more than once, then you don't have one. And your range is your biggest number minus your smallest number. So your biggest number minus your smallest. And really the big thing with those is not getting them mixed around because 3 of them start with M, so you might want to take a moment and just jot down which one is which. So mean, median, mode, and then range. So you got 3 M1s and then range. So just want to make sure that we don't get those mixed around. That's the big thing. Alright, I'm going to assume you've jotted that down. And the first thing we're doing with these is we're just finding our mean, median, mode, and our range. So if we want our mean, we're just going to add all of these up. We're going to add them all up. So we're taking our 14 plus 17 plus 12 plus 11, so 14, 17, 12, 11, and you just want to make sure that you don't miss any. Plus 12, plus 14, plus 15, plus 17, plus 18, plus 12. And then if you're plugging all of that into your calculator at once, you want to make sure you hit enter before you divide by your number of things. Because if you just plug in this stuff and then divide it by whatever your number of things is, which is in this case 10, your calculator is going to do order of operations. It's going to divide first and then add a bunch of things. That's not what you want it to do. So either add them all up and then hit enter, or the other thing you can do to get around that is you can stick them all in parentheses when you're adding them up. So if you add them all up, that gives you 142. And then if we divide that by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 things, we've got 14.2, and that's our mean. Alright, now you may have noticed your mean you can find without having to put anything in order. Your median, we're going to have to put these in order. So we're going to go with, we've got 11, we've got 12, and I'm just going to put a little check mark by these once we got them. So we got 12, we got another 12, we've got another 12, we've got 14, we've got another 14, we've got 15, we've got a 17, we've got a 17, and we got an 18. Okay, and now that they're in order, we're just looking for which one of those is in the middle. So we're just going to check off one on the ends one by one. So we're going to cross these off, it's not those. 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 And then we have 2 left. Now this time they happen to be the same number. If those were 2 different numbers, then we want to go through and find the average of those, so take those, add them, and divide by 2. But if they're the same number, then we don't have to do that, so our median is 14. Okay, so that's our mean. That's our median. Now we want our mode. So we're looking for which one happens the most. And we have a couple repeats, but the one that repeats the most is going to be 12, because we got 3 of those. We got 2 of these and 2 of those, but we have 3 of that 12, so that's our mode. So our mode is 12. So we get our mean, we get our median, we get our mode, and then the last thing we want is our range. So our range is our biggest number, which is 18, minus our smallest number, which is 11, which gives you 7 for your range. Cool. So, mean, median, mode, range, just careful not to mix them all up. Alright, let's do one more of those. And let's see, we get 5 this time. So, if we want our mean, again, we're going to add them all up. I'm going to grab a different color. So we're going to add these, and that, and that, and that. And taking 142 plus 116 plus 251 plus 140 plus 157. And again, just make sure you hit enter before you divide. So we got 806 divided by, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. So 806 divided by 5 gives you 161.2. Alright, cool. So that's our mean. Alright, and then the next thing we want is our median. So we're going to want these in order from smallest to biggest. So we've got 116. We've got 140. Nope, 140. Then we got 142. Then we got 157. Then we got 251. So the one in the middle there is going to be that one, and if you can find that without going through and crossing off these and crossing off those, that's fine. So our median is 142. Okay, we don't have any repeats this time, so we actually don't have a mode. So I'm just going to jot no mode. Although you could make a case that if we only have one of everything, that either we don't have a mode or that everything is your mode. You can make either case. And then we want our range. So our range is going to be our biggest number, which is 251, minus your smaller number, which is 116. And 251 minus 116 gives you 135. And that's our range. Alright, so again, mean, median, mode, range, we're looking for all 4 of them and just want to make sure that we don't get them mixed around. Okay, and the other thing you want to watch out for is whether we're doing this or whether we're doing the other thing that we're doing in this section, because the other thing that we're doing in this section is we're going to be looking for what's called a 5-number summary, which importantly is a different thing than the thing we just did. So your mean, median, mode, and range, that's not a 5-number summary because that's 4 numbers. We want 5. So if we want a 5-number summary, we're looking for 5 different things. And the first thing we're looking for is our maximum and our minimum, which fortunately are exactly what they sound like. Your minimum is your smallest thing. So we get our minimum there. Your maximum is your biggest thing. Okay, so 5-number summary, but we've already got 2. Your minimum's your smallest, your maximum's your biggest, and one of the other things we're going to want is our median, which is exactly what it was when we were doing it before, so it's not these, it's not those, it's not those, it's not those. So our median is between here, so right between 7 and 9, your median is going to be 8. And that one you could probably figure out off the top of your head. Right between 7 and 9 is 8. If those weren't nice numbers that you knew the middle of, like right off the top of your head, just add them up and divide by 2. So 7 plus 9 is 16, divided by 2 is 8. Okay, so that's 3 of our 5 numbers right there. The other 2 things you want are your first quartile and your third quartile. And in order to find those, we're going to take this median and we're going to draw a line right through there. We're going to draw a line right through your median. And then what we want is we want the middle of each of those halves. So right in the middle of this half is not these, not those, so that 4. That's your first quartile, which we're going to call 1 and then a little q. And then same thing on the other side, right in the middle of this stuff is your 15, which we're going to call your third quartile. So minimum, maximum. Median's right in between. first and third quartiles are right in the middle of your two halves. So middle of your first half's your first quartile, middle of your second half's your third quartile. Good so far? Okay, because now we're going to draw a box plot with it. So if we want to draw a box plot with it, should have left myself some more room on there. If we want to draw a box plot with this, what we're going to do is we're going to have a little number line going from more or less our minimum. So our minimum was 1. I'm going to start this off at 0. And we're going to go up to more or less our maximum. So I'm going to go 0 to 20. Just because those are nicer round numbers to work with. And I'm just going to call this 10 right in the middle. I'm going to go 5 and 15. The number line part will already be drawn for you on the assignment. So what's going on with our box plot is your minimum and your maximum are going to get dots. So we're going to have a dot at 1, which is a little bit more than 0. We're going to have a dot at our maximum, which is 19, which is a little bit less than 20. The other 3 are going to get lines. So we're going to have a line at 4. We're going to have a line at 8, so right about here-ish. And we're going to have a line at 15. And then we're going to draw a box, which is why this is called a box plot. Makes sense. Okay, so minimum, maximum, first quartile, third quartile, median, min, max. Okay, nothing too terrible going on there. We're just taking these numbers and putting them on a number line. So these 2 get dots, these 3 get lines, and then you make a box out of them. Okay, let's do one more of those. Let's do one we have to put in order first. Alright, so if we got numbers that aren't in order, big thing you want to remember is we want to put them in order first. So before we do anything else, we're going to take these numbers and we're going to put them in order. So we got a 9. Nope, we got an 8. That's smaller. We got an 8. We got a 9. I'm just going to cross these off as we go. We got an 11. We've got a 12. We've got a 17. We got an 18, 20, 22, 24, and 25. And that's it. Okay, so again, your smallest is your minimum. Your biggest is your maximum. Right in the middle, so not these 2, not those 2, not those 2, not those 2. Right in the middle of our 17 and our 18 is going to be 17.5. That's our median. And then your first quartile and your third quartile, I'm going to split this here. So your first quartile is right in the middle of this. And your third quartile is right in the middle of this. So first quartile's in the middle of your first half. Third quartile's in the middle of your second half. And if you're going, where's your second quartile then? We got a first quartile and a third quartile. Where's the second one? Well, technically your second quartile is the same thing as your median, because if we have 2/4, that's the same as 1/2. So saying first quartile is the same as saying 1/4. Third quartile is 3/4. Second quartile would be 2/4, but that's 1/2. We've already got another name for that. Now, technically, if you call this your second quartile, that's okay. I mean, I'm not going to dock you points for that or anything. Okay, and now we're going to draw a little number line. So let's go from like 5 to 25 is our biggest anyway. So right between those is 15. We got 10. We got 20. And the number line part will already be drawn for you. So don't worry about, well, why are you picking those numbers? That part will be there. Okay, and our minimum is 8. Our maximum is 25. So in general, you just want a range that your numbers are all going to fit on. And then we've got our first quartile is 11. Our median is 17.5, so right about between there-ish. And then our third quartile is 22, so right about there-ish. And we're going to draw a box. And that's it. We got a box plot. Okay, and again, the big thing is watching out for whether we're doing this or whether we're doing the thing with mean, median, mode, or range. So if we're looking for mean, median, mode, and range, it'll specifically say that. If it says 5-number summary, this is the thing you're looking for. And in general, if you see something that looks like a number line and you're being asked to draw a box plot, this is the thing you want. If it says mean, median, mode, and range, that's the thing you want. So just watch out for which one of those you're doing. Alright, and go ahead and check out the homework, and I'll see you in the next video.